First of all, don't tell me what to do.
I am a ready.
Yes. That's right, infidels. Now you're the target of my rage. You want to spit darts and not win the Nephilim, my giants? Well, it's time to take down Colorado. Maybe even Vince Russo and all the Illuminati that live under your airport, morons. Because Lucifer rides again. RBV in a hostage crisis. Here on the Monday Locker Room. Hameen Media Group. YOLO. Oh, yes. I've come to lie on the fire. On the funeral pyre here. Oh, man, what a tough day in the NFL yesterday. I did well, thankfully, to our own JB and the Hameen Media group. Posting those great picks, doing all that research that's way above my head when it comes to sports betting. And I just follow the process. And sometimes, 70% of the time, we're winning. You got to take the good with the bad. And I try not to bet on the Giants because it puts my heart into it that much more. But after the first touchdown, I was like, they got this momentum, bro. And then to lose it on the very last play, ain't that the way she goes and the drama of it all. So, it was a great game and great Sunday all around and great fight night, hanging with the HMG producer chat, William LC. Always a good time hanging with him in there. And I see the chat room filling up here for MLR, but he's back, pink hat, ready to rack it and pack it in. Mr. Track himself, the voice of the Speedway in Ohio, RBV's back in the house. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, real men do it in the pink. Ben, I got to run down the NFL with you. We're going to get into that, but I do want to start off a bit of a somber note, but maybe we can add a little celebration to the life there. Yesterday, the passing of one Mr. Bobby Horn, a.k.a. Mo, Sir Mo, from Men on a Mission. Unfortunately, dealing with some complications. I guess he had a severe blood infection and pneumonia. 58 years old, passed away in an intensive care unit there in Texas. Ben, the 90s time, the new generation, we've got a different flavor of professional wrestling. But you're a music guy, especially rap guy. Well, what did you think of Men on a Mission when they got onto the scene?
I mean, they were what they should have been for pro wrestling, looking at hip hop and not crossing the boundaries in early 90s, late 80s hip hop before you could argue CIA involvement with Ruthless Records and Bad Boy and every other thing, turning everybody into gangster rap killers. Hip hop was fun. It was to impress girls, to dance, to go to the club, not to end up sell fucking kilos and kill at will. Like, oh, okay, you're great, you're a murderer. Some weird testosterone thing to fill the prisons or what have you. And Men on a Mission were that whoop, there it is, who let the dogs out, that fun party, kid and play, ain't gonna hurt nobody, just dancing, y'all. And hip hop hooray was huge then. So they took that, get your hands in the air. And so did Public Enemy. Who were two white guys named after a black rap group from the 80s and 90s, but it's a smart thing to do because even with R-Truth, with What's Up, people want that call and response at the wrestling show, and hip hop has primal beats that we respond to, and we all want to get the party going. And you spent the money to go to the show, now you definitely want to get the party going. But at the time, they were as fun and as, I don't want to call them clowns by any means, but they're the breath of fresh air entertainment on the show. And if you have a heel that gets heat on those guys, you have a pretty instant made heel because they're over. However, you ain't going to get much heat on King Mabel, my dog, because he's an attraction. Right. So, but I like that. I like big men in hip hop too, whether it was Biggie Smalls, whether it was Big Pun, Heavy D and the boys, go back to oh baby, you got what I need. So even a ugly guy can kind of get over, if he's got the confidence and commits to who he is. Like, you can't deny that. So whether it was Biz or King, Mabel, and Mo and Oscar, men on a mission, about to get busy. Hardy boys, about to get dizzy. Like some shit he would bust out that like would always make me laugh and smile. And and then I remember my little brother at the time, so he's probably like maybe he might have been 8 or 9, and just like big big Mabel leaning on guys in the corner, the big splash or whatever, and he would be like, oh, devastating, you'd be done. So it always makes me flash back to those prime times of me being kind of 14, 15 years old and loving wrestling for as silly as it was. During that time, we had a lot of silly gimmicks, and they were one, but they, obviously Mabel became the attraction, Viscera, and, went into Undertaker's thing, and then kind of King Mabel, where Oscar and Mo had their run, so I don't know. They could have really done something, not in that clown way. They tried to do it in a Death Row Records way with Hit Row, but because of, who knows, ego and fucking the dive spot and getting too much too fast, maybe those guys had talent, they definitely could have done more and played up being Death Row Records and getting that done. And the only one left from that crew is B-Fab, who's folded in with Street Profits, and Street Profits are back to doing the Scissor Up Red Cup gimmick, like, because we got nothing else. It's very weird. Shinsuke's back to dancing Shinsuke because, remember when this was over for 3 months and we jumped the shark and didn't get max value or know what we're doing, and now Street Profits flip-flop from wearing, they look like to me, that when they're in their black leather stuff, they look like Zod from fucking Superman.
They love their cosplay.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we're back to being in the university step team marching band attire. You're like, what are we doing? And I'm not saying Dawkins should be left behind, because he's really worked his ass off and they're a great tag team. There was a time when it's like, oh, he might be out of shape, got in shape. Oh, he might not be the guy to carry it, carries the match. Like, they're smart guys into how to keep their jobs. And that's the main thing you want to do. Like, nobody's really champ. You want to have a contract for as long as you can. But Ford has infinite amount of money written on him, from charisma and fucking athleticism. And what have we really gotten in on? You know what I mean? Like, he should have his Kofi Mania type run. And you may be right in the pocket of his best years right now. And if you don't get behind him, it is. And I hate to say that, like, Dawkins isn't holding him back by any means, but that's always been true, whether it was JTG and Shad, or Men on a Mission. One guy is or Sean and, Marty. One guy is going to have to break out and kind of be the one. So we'll see, man. But that is tough. 58 years old, passing on, a made guy in the Mafia, obviously. And
did quite a bit, was really involved in the indie scene, training, helping people, get exposure, learn that style. I know so many just in my region here of the indies that have expressed, what Mr. Horn meant to them, always reaching out, words of encouragement, just not, hey, come and work a show with me. He would follow up. So he was really involved, and that's what's great to hear. And to speak to Men on a Mission, as you were saying, it was in that weird transition, the new generation. So you still had a lot of that flavor from the rock and wrestling, but with Men on a Mission, it was cool because they looked the part. They looked like the big dogs. You had the attraction with Mabel there, but they reminded you that it was okay to have fun in professional wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes there's Baskin Robbins 31 flavors. If you got a heavy blood feud or something that's your main storyline, These guys are the perfect, what they would call popcorn match, and fucking IWC and Marks throw down these terms that they don't understand, where it's the crowd's kicked off. We didn't want to go to merch. And, you might not want to miss that when you hear Men on a Missions thing. You come running back because you want to be doing
That's all the kids
right?
wanting to do that. That's what's getting
Right.
the kids involvement, and that's your money shots for the crowd and all that.
It's a spot on the show where we've given them a lot of wrestling, and we're going to go into the main event, and we need to get them back up on their feet, and this is what's going to do it. So whatever happens in their match doesn't matter, because the best thing you can do in pro wrestling as a worker is get over in your entrance. And they all did. And then you're just waiting for, heat on Mo, hot tag to Mabel, fucking in he comes, squash ya. Hopefully doesn't kill you with the leg drop, and boom, hit the music, and we're out of there, baby. That's the same match. It doesn't make a difference. It's always impressive when a 500-pound guy fucking is leaning on a guy in the corner, whether it was Haystacks Calhoun, King Kong Bundy, or King Mabel, it was good shit. So they're an integral part for a booker on the show after you're trying to do bigger business to lighten the mood, to get people back up. And, I don't think a Tony Khan understands that. And most of me, I don't know if WWEAI writing team with this new kid at the even understands that, bro. Like, I definitely want to talk about all that today, but obviously want to pay respect. Coach Duke Rufus in UFC, also 55 years old, passed this weekend, and huge part in training so many UFC fighters and champions. So I know they had like moment of silence over there for those guys, but yeah, man, Father Time waits for nobody, and your ticket can get punched at any time. So make sure you let the people know around you that you care about how much they mean to you.
Absolutely. Up in, we're talking about that little teaser there. We like to kick off the shows each and every week looking at the big sports weekend that was NFL. You want high flying action. You want big spots. That's what the NFL was this past weekend. Kicking it off Thursday night here in Cincinnati. The two old dogs, the 41-year-old, the 40-year-old, the icy hot bowl. Two quarterbacks throwing down. The Bengals get a big win over the Steelers. Joe Flacco, Aaron Rodgers. This got to set the tone. 33-31. Been 10 teams this weekend so far. We still got 2 games left, and they could very well extend that. But already 10 teams over 30 points in a game, 8-2 record. That means 2 teams lost scoring 30 points. And unfortunately for you, one of them was the giant collapse from your New York Football Giants, up 19-0. End up blowing that game. 3 lead changes in the last 60 seconds, Ben, and 2 missed extra points. And your Giants are beaten as time expires.
Extra point guy should have been thrown out of the plane at 30,000 feet. Like, that guy's done. Like, just don't even come in on Monday. You're out of here. Yeah, I'm sorry. And to be honest with you, your career's done too, because you can't take that to any team and it was on you and you blew that. That guy's career is done and should be done, rightly so. So he'll make a good Division III fucking girls track coach for the rest of his life. And good for him.
That's what you get when you cost Ben $5 over on DraftKings. That's what you get.
So that guy's done. But dude, I as much as I am a Giants guy, and we've just been beaten down for decades since retard Eli was in the pocket way too long. This kid Dart is playing just like Josh Allen started football, especially with his running back. And now we've got some receivers. Guys are really going out there and having fun playing high, fast action football. Not let's play coordinated. Everything's got to be down to the analog. What did the Moneyball stats say? And we need to run this play because 86% of the time it never works. But it's just like, shut the fuck up. This kid is intense. He's got the fucking gassed up young guys around him.
Ball.
Yeah. And the kid dove and took back the lead. Like, the fact that we lost it on the last play, that's football drama. And I almost don't mind losing like that. You know what I mean? Because the effort and the intensity was so there. It just comes down to a coin flip, even though they blew it. and fate rears its head and puts it on this kicker, dude, that Andrew Santino looking motherfucker, and he's gone, bro. Fuck that guy. And yeah, to watch it, high drama. It makes you go as a booker or a wrestling fan. How do we, but look what happened. The underdog jumped out with a huge lead, got on him, beat on him. The comeback from the hometown guys to get there. One more dagger in the heart. You think it is. No, there's one chance left. And it happens. And it comes, you love that for humanity in Colorado and storytelling. But now apply that same logic to a wrestling story. Why do we not get that?
Yeah.
It's as easy as that. And it makes Giants fans now want to get revenge. And that dude has to answer, like, for missing the kick. Like, these are the spin out storylines that are right there. That how can you not go into a creative meeting the next day to talk to AI master and go, hey, let me just lay this out for you, and you plug it into your AI. Here's how I blocked this story out from this football game, and I found it interesting. Not, you idiot, why don't you, like, let's see what comes out using this format, because now we're in a creative think tank going, okay, here's the structure I can play in. Who are the people that best plug into this equation that we have 4 or 5 main characters that all have to do different things in order to make it happen, like it did on the football field, to give us that feeling of intense drama. Now let's apply that here. Nobody's doing that. Triple H is the liaison to the fucking White House now. No, I said this when Trump got elected. You let those motherfuckers in the back door, it's all over, bro. Washington, D.C. has insane lobbyists in politics and obviously big money interests, way bigger than wrestling. But they don't have the carny politics for no reason that pro wrestling does. And once they let Linda in there and Trump was backed by Vince, and now you got Stefan Game there. And this dude who's running the AI is also a liaison, which to me means he's a complete government plant from WWE or from the government inside WWE. Like, what is going on, bro?
You got this hot hate bots attacking HMG.
Yeah, dude, right.
It's crazy how you make these parallels, because I regularly say that, the NFL out pro wrestling's pro wrestling. And even this past week, you're talking about that story, like that shootout. Your falsies in the last 60 seconds, 3 lead changes right down to time expiring. As I talked about here in Cincinnati, you could tell the story of the 2 old dogs going out throwing for over 300 yards, putting on a show everyone thought they're done. Or even back in the saddle, back on top again. Everybody had written them off. They stumbled out of the gates. They're in trouble. The dynasty's dead. The Chiefs are now the favorites to win the Super Bowl again after a couple of weeks of looking, getting back, getting the guns back in line.
And you want to talk more storyline? The Dolphins falling apart, blaming each other. You have a crew that turns on each other, and they
are all pointing fingers down there in Miami, and they get embarrassed, absolutely embarrassed in Cleveland.
Yeah. So again, we want people to feel the same way watching wrestling that they do as watching pro sports when it naturally occurs. They're presented on ESPN side by side, but one is like a spoon-fed, hey, aren't you interested in the CM Punk and his wife storyline? No, I'm not at all. Because when Flacco's on the fucking field, his wife doesn't come out and play running back. Because it's bullshit. So now if you wanted to have the wives sitting up there in the stands and shit breaks out between them, that's possibly more real, right?
All right, I want more Mama Dart. I want more visuals of her up there.
That's what I'm saying. She just starts getting them out at the shows and shit.
Well, hey, look at what Taylor did. Taylor Swift did for the NFL over the last couple of years. Even just growing their audience to little girls just by showing her up there, and you get that heat. It's not like she's going out there and missing field goals for the Chiefs.
Exactly. But no, we got to say that my wife is just as good a wrestler as she's the man. Oh, really? let's get Mahomes' wife out there to go fucking deep cover fucking 5 route. You're like, what the fuck? You know,
Get me
like,
Brittany,
how,
get me Brittany in this
yeah,
secondary.
how am I supposed to take this shit even remotely seriously when they're doing it right there and all you got to do is copy it and paste it? But I'm sorry, we're gonna hire a new creative team and we got AI, we're plugging AI. Like, here's what I would ask AI at the fucking gate. What's rule 1 of writing pro wrestling? Put heat on your heel, make your baby off your heel. If AI can't spit that back to me verbatim, the fucking Al Snow, the fucking Jim Cornette, everybody 101, there are no baby faces without heel heat. So if it starts to try and write something that's baby face driven out of the gate, you're already done. Like, now this is a computer program because it's been fed information by people who don't know that you put heat on your heel and make your baby off your heel. That is the number 1 premise of pro wrestling. You have to have an inciting incident and introduce the bad guy first, or the hero is just born as a baby and we're about to follow their journey in a parallel universe to a heel that's already made. That's the only 2 ways stories are done, whether it's the birth of Christ to his fucking death, or, you know, any heel worth his fucking salt, that from Pol Pot to Hitler to fucking whoever. No one gives a fuck about Hitler as a boy. Like, they only know the damage, right? Like, it's not, as Rip would say, it ain't that
That
fucking
Hitler
hard.
artwork isn't flying off the shelves anywhere.
Yeah. Well, depends where you're buying. But yeah, man, like, so this new dude with the AI shit is laughable to me when they're going, it wanted to do a storyline with Bobby Lashley and this and that and the other. I go, dude, we had allegedly the storyline with Bobby Lashley. It was called The Hurt Business. And you fucked it up week 3 with Raw Underground because they got a boner for them both and killed them both in one fell fucking swoop and never got out of what they should have in the Black Lives Matter. What was the Rock show? Ballers, that originally set out to create strong African American males. Instead, we get a fucking Team Mayweather.
Which is, like you mentioned, like we're right where you mentioned where we should have the profits at right now, but they were lost track in all of that, and now we're right back to what.
Yeah, where exactly. And what is AI gonna fucking come up with for them? And they can't do that. So the reality is they don't give a shit. It's already bought and sold. They're gonna plug AI into everything, all Pixar movies and all that. 5 years from now, you won't have animators. You'll have the fucking original graphics loaded in there, and it will just be made. You could have a fucking new animated movie every week, every day, if you wanted to. Depending
You think the guys in South Park are good in 2 weeks? They could be turning out. Now, let me ask something here, Ben. In a bigger picture, because I mean, you know, we love talking our business, media, marketing. Where do you feel like, how does this affect us in what we've done for our careers? I mean, there's some way, like, you know, I'm really reluctant to use it, but it is something that I've got to integrate into my strategies because it is there. I mean, it's unavoidable.
Oh, well, me as an actor, allegedly, back in the day, it cuts both ways because I see my friends one especially who owns she's an agent, she owns her own agency, and that there's less and less work because of, you know, Hollywood, the size of it going down, comedy moving and decentralizing, and the DEI-ness of Chicago entertainment that shot themselves in the foot. But like all left-leaning, you know, anger, it's usually self-induced, and then they want to play the victim at the same time instead of having gone down the right path to begin with to get to success. They knew what they were playing with, but it was more fun to fucking be in charge and watch it all burn down around me. And that is true with so many of their causes, but I'm talking about the acting world, especially in Chicago. And when they should have taken over from LA and New York, the fact that they're there and not making anything themselves is insane. Like they're waiting to be anointed by someone else, you know. But to see that AI is going to take an even bigger part of that you'll have John Travolta, or fuck it, you can bring back you know, any actor. We're seeing it with these earliest days with Simple Wrestling. 4VKM was putting out JFK Jr. tagging with John Denver last night, and it looked real. Big Ray's putting himself in the ring, and it looks real enough. This is month 2 of this shit being out, and it's only gonna compound and exponentially fucking become more insane that you're not going to be able to tell the difference between that of them recreating our video. Like that's only a year away of you and I being completely recreated right now, and you can't tell that maybe a glitch in the mouth as it lines up or something, you know, where things can go. There'll be full AI podcasts. There is now, creating from your timeline the news you want to hear with voices that you respond to, accents you respond to, languages across the board. It's going to be unbelievable. Right now, people are making tons of money on YouTube with AI driven sites with no human being in them. AI pornography, like porn drives everything in tech. It always has when it comes to the internet. So there's going to be so much so fast, and the actors are going to lose, and it's going to come down to
your actors,
how do I
writers.
how do I use AI as a writer to create my own thing, and then when will I have AI on my desktop that is strong enough to create full movies that I'm writing and I want to craft and put out there as an independent producer? What's it cost me? Like an Adobe subscription, $300, $350, $360 a year. That's where we're going to be in 2 years. And there's not going to be Hollywood. If you want to sit in your fucking missile silo and make full movies that look animated, but you know, you can put whoever's face and voice in there, that's what you're going to do, because you're going to pay $1,000 to lease Nicolas Cage's likeness to make him the lead of your movie. Or it's going to be on Amazon where you pick the cast and fucking you go watch Goodfellas, but it's Brock Lesnar is fucking, you know, Henry Hill or whatever the fuck you want to put in there. That choose your own adventure shit we had in 3rd and 4th grade is very much going to be in everything to keep you distracted while we go to 15-minute cities, while we go to a great reset on the money. And who knows? Everyone's still saying November is going to be insane, whether it's something celestial, something cosmic, something alien. Like, what, we're supposed to worry about fucking new Game of Thrones if the fucking aliens, like, you know, like there's so much crazy advancement that is happening. How do you even talk about pro wrestling? Like they're just actors now of that can be replaced in TV. They're only going to be able to do the live show, you know?
Well, I mean, that put a more of a premium on those must-see live sort of things. But, you know, even like in the marketing sense, related to professional wrestling.
Who's going to pay to go to Saudi? Nobody's paying to go to Saudi.
I know. I got some things with the questions with the live stuff there as well, and they feel confident there. But quick on the AI, like just seeing, you know, I see it like trying to right now even go out solicit some jobs to do for small businesses. You know, they just feel comfortable. Well, we don't need an outside marketer. We can do all this ourselves now because we can just go to ChatGPT.
Yep.
You know, but you know they all look so generic. I don't know if it's just something, you know, that I'm pissed off about because it's cut into my slice of the pie. But yeah, it is there. But for indie wrestling,
but it's year one.
How many?
You wait till next year. Wait till next year.
Cheesy ass like AI generated event posters are we seeing out there that are just terrible? Terrible.
Sure, but would you rather have a terrible poster that gets it done for free, or would you rather pay a marketing guy that's going to take 6 weeks or 3 weeks, and we got to make this change and we got to do that, and like a year from now, it will be not, I'm not saying they're terrible like stick figure drawings, but like, you know, like it will get to that point, dude, of like make a poster, these images, two guys facing off, make it look like Double Dragon cover and fucking, you know what I mean? Or whatever it is. And it happens in less than 30 seconds, dude.
It's right there.
I made my bones for years. I worked for the biggest fucking firms in Chicago doing graphic design, flash design, animations, websites, full sites, product fucking labels, packaging, right? Those jobs are going to be fucking gone, dog. Like gone, because the people in the boardroom are going to have some assistants that all they do is go do some AI prompts when they come out of the boardroom. You're not going to need a creative team anymore. And that frees up for those big companies. I worked on some creative teams, 5-6 different creative directors making anywhere between $100,000 to $200,000 each. This is early 2000s, and fucking designers, coders, maybe a team of 10 to 20, all at $50 to $60 an hour, possibly billable. Like, cut all that. That's all profit, bro. Like, of course they're going to do that.
As you said, it is absolutely ridiculous when we're so early into this technology, but to already see where it's at.
Yeah. And it would take that team of 20 a month to get the project ready and done for fucking to go present to Nestle or Corona or whoever we were working on. And then they might go, yeah, we like it, but I want to change this. Another month. Dude, AI could fucking have it there. You in the meeting, you go, well, we want to change this, changes it. Perfect. Let's go with it. You can get it done that fucking fast, bro.
How far and how fast do you believe professional wrestling WWE goes with this? I mean, how soon are we?
It's obviously no. It's part of an op. It's part of an op to start the takeover of writers and all that shit. This guy is working between the White House and WWE, and Triple H is pulling back and having Bruce run shows because he's going to work on the Maha stuff. Wink, wink. Maybe. Or maybe he's got deep inside ties to Saudi already and he's, you know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of what ifs now. And even if they're with Trump, like, Trump doesn't, I mean, I'm sure he understands he's been around carny wrestling enough for his life, but the rest of the Pentagon that comes up, can I get a pick for my nephew? He's a big fucking fan. They have no idea that of what this fucking shit is doing. You know what I mean? And how much closer they are to, who knows at this point, bro. I can't even speculate or imagine where it's going to go, because we have full on the carniest people directly connected within 1 degree of separation.
It's right there. They're not even knocking. The door is open. The foot, they're walking right through.
Yeah. And they're walking away from wrestling, which of course you're going to make a grab for power, especially in the American power system struggle, along with trillionaires that are paying blood money to bring your fucking silly show to over there. You've worked everybody that's a big network X amount of times over, promising top numbers and delivering 1/3 of what you sold them as a bad bill of goods. And when the contract comes up, they've already fired their executives, and you move on to another pasture and sell more bullshit to them over and over. But as media conglomeration goes, you're only going to be able to do that X amount of times and sell that product. And, you know, incredibly, because of the market scale, the value goes up almost every time they do it. But that just shows to me that executives don't do their homework and they overpay because it looks good to do big money deals, as opposed to going, I acquired the rights at the lowest price, saying I did a fucking $3 billion deal. Yeah, you paid $3 billion for a fucking product that's worth about $500 million. That don't impress me as a businessman. But the fact that after that they can go, this guy does $1 billion deals, get him with the fucking Saudis. Like, that's how they up themselves. It's not that they're doing good business. They're just fucking acting like they're masters of industry and not actually acting off of any real metrics that would make any fucking sense whatsoever.
Nick Khan, so a couple of weeks ago, A few points. I'm trying to think which one I want to jump into. And it was, he put out there, he does believe people will travel to Saudi for a WrestleMania.
What does that tell you?
That they know they're not.
That is a sell, right? Like,
I've never heard them be like, "Oh, we are quite confident everyone's coming to New Orleans for WrestleMania."
Dude,
Oh, by the way, we're ripping it out of New
exactly. That's why I'm like, why are these guys selling? When I fucking heard that, I go, that is a mistake. And it tells me the exact opposite. That you think, oh, we can push Saudi as Vegas and we'll get all the Vegas acts and bring them. Dude, all those people at the Saudi show, nobody paid for those tickets. That's an audience. That is a facade. Sure, they might be there having fun for real. I don't doubt that. It's not like they're at gunpoint, like going cheer for Alexa Bliss. Like,
pop or get pop.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, those people know that they have a part to play, but none of it's genuine. At least when we're in Europe with the fucking morons there and Aussie where they take over the shows, that's a genuine response of a show coming there, and they're pumped about it because they don't get the circus in town like so many U.S. cities do. And I'm sure a lot of the fans in Saudis, especially young ones, do, but it's all a farce. And now they got what they wanted. We'll get the best price for WrestleMania. We'll get the best price. Da, da, da. And now they got it booked, and they burned their U.S. audience in New Orleans twice. George Bush hates black people. That
they got a Money in the Bank coming.
Yeah, oh, great. Until they don't. That now Saudi bought it, and they can go, we look at us, we're the princes. Nobody swings bigger dick than us because we're trillionaires. We bought Bill Burr and everybody else, right? Like, yeah, you got it. Now guess what? You think you're building this city. It's not for your own people. It's to have what you think is going to be a true mecca of Vegas, a future for Saudi Arabia. It's not. Like, the past 25 years has not been rectified. Everything you built is a facade, so you don't have to answer the real questions. And if you would have done that and tried to heal that wound instead of just throwing money at it, fine. But now we're at the true proverbial line in the sand, which is you bought it all, you acted like you got it. Now can you fill the fucking seats and draw? Not with your own people. Can you draw 80,000 people from around the world to Saudi? The only way you're going to do that is going to go, guess what we're going to do, wrestling fans? $1 flights if you come to Saudi Arabia. That is the only incentive. $1 flights, $10 hotels. And they can afford to do it.
I was just going to ask her, are they just going to go find mass blocks of people and just start shipping them in? So there's different faces and looks and maybe flag. There's an American flag of fans over here. Here's a French, so that we'll get all these visuals that are puppeteered to give the illusion that the world has come to Saudi.
Hey, big shout out to the El Salvadorian prisoners up in section 104.
Come for the mania, stay to become mulch.
Yeah, it's interesting. As soon as he said that is a sell.
Why say that? Why have the need to say that?
Because they know the truth is coming, and they got to try and figure out how they're going to do that and sell tickets. They're not. The Saudis are going to pack it out with their own people. People are not coming. They'll probably hire green shirt guy and red hat guy to go and pay for him to go there.
Green shirt guy really got tan here lately.
Did he?
No, I mean, they'll have one of their people with just a green
shirt. Yeah. It's just him. Yeah. Their version.
They're recasting. Or we could have AI audience by then.
You very well could. Man.
Bring back the Thunderdome.
It's not like they're true hardcore wrestling. This whole thing, you got to look in the bigger scope with this 2030 project, bro. It's just insane oil money that funded whatever group in the early 2000s, a royal family feud inside of it, combined with Bush family ties and CIA plots, with a guy who wants to make the best deal, going over there and fucking touching a new world order globe together. And since then, the 2030 project's been on, and nobody's had to answer for anything. You can cut journalists into 15 pieces and put them into fucking suitcases. If you can do that, then where are we going?
So we've got, we're still a few years away. If we get closer, it's going to intensify here a little bit. We've already got, as they are traveling the globe, if it be, here domestic or international, again, traveling the globe, we're getting the F-Saudi chance. Ticket prices continue to sky high. But on the flip side, you're seeing lower numbers on Netflix. You're seeing SmackDown hovering around 1 million now. I mean, it's hitting lows. When do you see that bubble bursting? The backlash.
How about if AI is writing the show? Don't you care about it less if AI is writing the show now? Because when the show's good,
my complete interest of it. You've taken the human element out of the game. How am I supposed to connect and fall in love with, like the wrestling that I had when it's a machine doing it?
What is wrestling? It's emotional responses from the audience of a battle over dominance. Pro wrestling is a story of dominance or redemption or event, but like one person trying to go over, even psychologically, for a belt or for whatever reason that's personal. It comes down to the root cause of every great scene and movie, which is emotional connection. AI is faking, what it believes to be emotional connection, but now the fact that the fans will know that, they will not feel they like their eras, their AI era. There's not what are you gonna disconnect and come back to a human era? That's what I'm saying right now. That's exactly what needs to happen. And it's not, let's plug AI in, but that's part of the whole op of like, well, WWE did it, so if they did it, we're gonna do it. Like, it's normalizing it because that's where the bigger industry wants to go. But it's not going to make wrestling better. It's going to hurt it because of that disconnect of people come to wrestling to connect with humanity and the id of man and the stories that have been told around campfires for thousands of years. And we're not gonna get that anymore. We'll get David and Goliath will just fucking kill David week 1. Like, that is what AI will come up with, because it doesn't understand, and it shouldn't understand. And very, very few people understand how simple it truly is, and how Rip tried to put that in my brain, and Al Snow did. And, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. When you make a move, it has to mean something. You just don't become Superman unless you are in that character, and no sell to come up off it. So the only real solution to making wrestling better is getting rid of that whole regime of creative and putting in the hands of creative people who are passionate about it and actually truly understand it and book shows before, to give the world what it really wants and needs. Because right now it's just been sold as a product, and the Australians at least fucking stood up and said something honest to overtake that show with their fucking, the power of fan and group mind of fuck the Saudis, right? Like, you're ruining wrestling by buying it all out and acting like you're going to buy your way into the fandom and we're going to kowtow and come to you. Well, go check out Forest City in China that they built there. Oh, 1 billion people are going to live there. The fucking place. there's 1 billion homes there. Maybe 10,000 people live there. That's the hubris that is going to blow up in their faces.
Maybe we do have a story there. The AI, the bots take over the creative, and you have the Russo's rebellion about the uprising of the actual writer taking back
like
over
Terminator and Terminator 5,
or the Matrix. Where the trying to like root out all the real writers and eliminate them. Poor Tony Khan could become a martyr like John Henry, trying to outdrive the steel on the rail system.
Yeah. Tony Khan's just like John Henry. I often think of the two together.
Yeah, parallel.
How about Sarah Stock coming out and putting the blast on him?
Yeah, I had that in the notes. We go ahead and talk about that. Is obviously, well, maybe not so obviously, because there's not a lot of hype around this. AEW this past weekend had their Wrestle Dream pay-per-view. One of the things I thought was interesting before we talk about some of the notes from that, Ben, not a lot of hype and chatter on the internet about this weekend for AEW. Could it be that AEW business picks up when that big, bad, evil WWE counter programs them? It seems like there's a lot more hype about AEW when they're running against WWE.
No, they're fucking it up every chance they get. They had a chance to do cheap tickets, counter program for families, and instead we're letting Darby Allin do the dumbest shit. We're doing
A fish tank spot is
fish
what everyone's
tank
talking
drowning.
about.
But I mean, you can go back week after week after week of opportunity and just ridiculous decisions that are so within their own bubble that they don't even understand the opportunity that they had, or else he doesn't have people around him going, we need to stop all of this right now and redo our MO, our mission statement on this of we have an opportunity and what we're doing is not going to capitalize on that opportunity. If you want to do your own niche stuff that's fanboy, ridiculous, whatever, then okay, because we're gonna miss that bus completely of getting out of the hole and really becoming a true competitor and learning from our mistakes. We're not learning from any of them. In fact, we're amplifying them, getting caught gigging on camera and all this shit, dude. And kids don't try this at home is hard enough on suplexes on the bed and shit. Now you're holding the guy's fucking head in a fish tank in the
for
ring.
a few of the people over the chat that maybe didn't catch AEW highlights,
They had a 20-gallon fish tank.
It's an I Quit match.
Yeah. Moxley is holding Darby Allin's head in a fucking fish tank of water in the ring, drowning him. Like, do you think this is a funny spot of like, why would it even be there? Or, just Darby on Ariel Helwani trying to do the bit of pouring water on himself. I go, this motherfucker just climbed Mount Everest and he's talking about it, but you're going to stay in gimmick and act like a dumbass on a show that's legitimizing you when here is our opportunity. Darby Allin, friend of Tony Hawk, pro skater, climbed fucking Mount Everest, hangs with Steve-O and the whole crew. Instead, we're going to do I paint my face like fucking Nightmare Before Christmas and pour water on myself because I'm gonna be crazy guy and gimmick on the shoot show. It shows the bubble of idiocy that they live in, and you ain't gonna tell them any different because they're not gonna hear it. Meanwhile, their numbers just dwindle and they get nothing but ridiculous feedback like a fish tank spot or some shit when they had the opportunity to go from zero to hero based off of what WWE is doing to alienate fan bases.
You could have made that connection. Go back to the roots where professional wrestling has always been about the blue collar, the hard worker.
Dude, you got a kid who's a fucking nepotism billionaire. How is he supposed to understand what that is? The only thing he can do is, again, you have to walk away and just be owner. You do not book anymore. You do not have any creative say. You know what I mean? If somebody needs to be fired based on discipline, sure, then you can, but this baby booking stuff and trying to cater to Meltzer and PWI 500 is doing nothing to advance the art. In fact, it's retarding it to a level that is unwatchable. It's completely unwatchable.
Yeah.
Then the Outrunners come out and do it exactly right on the show. Tony Storm will do it unless he's listening to them 95% right and it make it so easy. And then I have to go back and watch double down sequences, spots and shit that make no sense whatsoever, but WrestleHolic and the rest of them put it over as a great sequence, and Disco watches it, retweets it, people go ape shit on his stuff. They have no idea why it's fucking idiotic sequence between Kyle Fletcher and Chicken Briscoe. Like they don't understand the basics of why it's wrong. And the guys in the ring do, but they'll come up with an excuse of like, this is how we heighten and go up the ladder. Nope, you don't no sell a fucking boot and just get up and then take one and no sell, only to fucking come back and then do a half boot where you stumble and register, duck one, double fucking down clothesline. Nope, you Supermaned up after the first boot. From there, everything we do past that is completely wrong.
Another direction in AEW involving All Elite Wrestling that I don't get, but maybe you can make some sense of it for me. It's above my pay grade. Is it getting over? What is it supposed to prove? What is the connection? But Mercedes Mone over the weekend acquires her 12th championship from Friday, Saturday to Sunday. So it's 12 belts. Mone, out of 12 of these, I can maybe name you 2 of them. Maybe 3. Does something like this work? I know people make the connection to Ultimo Dragon back in the day. I never really got that thing. For these promotions, they're going to have to keep bringing her back. That means they're paying a premium booking fee for her. That better be one a hell of a return on investment at your VFW for that gate, bringing somebody like her in. Your thoughts here on the belt collector gimmicks?
I don't know. I've heard Bob Holly's Twitter's been hacked, but whoever hacked it is fucking as brilliant as Bob Holly would be, I guess, and as Rip Rogers, because it's right here. As Ben says, belts are for wrestlers who can't get over with character, and that's it. That's Rip 101. If you need a belt, sure, you can be the guy that represents the company, and we want somebody there. It's going to be a draw, but if you have character, you have a storyline that can pluck the emotional string. And why would you need a belt that's about competition if I can really hold the audience in the palm of my hand with a story of love, betrayal, revenge, terror? If I can have them on the edge of their seat, a belt, a shiny object is only a trophy that means winning, or it can mean whatever you want it to mean, really, depending on the circumstance you put on it. She can't cut a promo. Her wrestling is lackluster at best. Spends a ton on her gear and got in because she's Snoop Dogg's cousin. Has she worked all that for millions of dollars? Yeah, she's an absolute worker. And the thing is, if you're going to do it and lean into the bit, lean into it. Because, like you said, those indies are paying a heavy price. But guess what? She's smart enough that she's working those fucking promoters going, put your belt on me and I'll take it to AEW. And that's what every fucking goof who runs a fucking indie everywhere in every fucking state who thinks they're the Vince McMahon of fucking all time when they're drawing 200 on their best night fucking goes, my belt's on AEW. We're better than the fucking indie that's 40 miles down the road that runs the same VFW because our belt was there. Why? Because you paid her fucking 10 grand or
right. That's a lot of hot dogs and sodas to be moving at,
money marks are fucking money marks for a reason. And their stupid little shitty belt that they paid $500 to have made is now on the show during the run. And she's smart to go, I can make $150,000 off these fucking indies by showing up, doing one fucking thing where I run in, get the belt off somebody, and then I only have to come back and do one return match and drop it, right? And that doesn't have to be for a long time. So that's what a worker does. So she is a smart worker. She's
working it.
She might not be a great in-ring worker. Yeah, not being a great in-ring worker or promo, as much as she might want to believe it. But when it comes to the biz side of it, hey, maybe I can't get over with promo and character. Give me the belts and now watch me work this to get money out of it. So I'm not going to hate on Sis for that. But to me, she'll always be one who was fast-tracked through the fault system of NXT that has always under-delivered once the fucking music stops.
How, just real quick, a little creative thing here has come to me. How would you go about getting all these damn belts off of her? I know there's a lot of talk. People are saying like, hey, let's do a show that's a gauntlet match for her. Give her her own. I think a lot of that's in jest, but the problem with winning all of these and looking tremendous on your rise up is at some point it's got to come toppling down.
You write it. Yeah, write it. So how do you do it?
At that point, I would just have her go on this extensive losing streak where if she's lost everything, take it all from her. Mental breakdown, where she just, she isn't that CEO type anymore. And then you kind of tell that tale of redemption to build her back up is kind of that heroic figure.
Nobody, I don't hate where you're going, but in a storyline, nobody wants to see a succession downfall of the heel. Usually it happens and everything's taken from them. Let's talk Game of Thrones, Cersei's, right? The fucking queen that is the blonde bitch who's having a fucking affair with her brother.
Slipped. I was kind of thinking like
everything is stripped from her and they shave her head and they take her clothes off and she goes from queen to walking through the commoners with her tits out while they all go shame, shame, shame.
I was kind of thinking in my mind like a Martha Stewart story.
That can work. There's 10 ways to skin the cat, Rick. I'm happy to listen to all creative and go, let's take a little from that, a little from that. But if you got her up here at 12 to go, oh, she went to 11. By the time they get to 4, you'll be like, oh, I wonder where they're going. Will she lose all her belts? So to me, it's ego. I'm the best. I'm way up here. And then somebody completely crushes that bubble. And out of that, you see the ripple effect of emotion run through her that all of the king's gold is gone and she's back to being a pauper again, right? Like that's what we want to do as human beings. We want to build people up, to tear them down, to stand over them and go, see, you were no better than me the whole time. Then we want to watch them pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and go, greatness is in me. I can ascend to the throne again. That's the it of man. So, and woman, whatever, as you're motivated. So that it really needs to be, in my opinion, someone who is either out of nowhere, like a super underdog, like the pauper that becomes the king, the sword and the stone type gimmick, or you have somebody who's been building on the indies who's credible that you want to fucking that does it all with hard work, has no belts whatsoever, goes to each one of those indies that she's got a belt from, works to become the number one contender, and then takes it all from her in one fucking night.
I like it. Yeah, I was just, that tear down. I mean, that's society. We love to see somebody have everything completely ripped from them, stripped down to the bare basics, and then to build them back up.
But you don't want people want the Epstein list to fight. They're so exhausted of like, when's it coming out? You just want Bill Clinton to be fucking shit hammered, like when is it coming? So that's why I went with the Game of Thrones reference. She's way up here looking down at everybody. And the next minute she's below even the lowest populace and they're saying shame on you and wagging a finger at her. How do we set that up? Because out of that, Cersei's character becomes humbled, very fucking like, what has happened to me, even as a heel, and has to go introspective. But when she comes back to power, she is the most vindictive, even more of a vindictive cunt. Now that someone has crossed her and did that, she's going to get super revenge on her. So after you built the baby face of the indie girl and taken it all from her, let her go through her dark phase, make it look like she's humbled, let her come back. But when she gets that power back, now it's only about me ruining her life, right? This could be a 3-4 year storyline if you laid it out the right way for the hero's ascension from indies to the top of AEW, a dream come true, only to then stay there as long as you can. And then she comes back and tries to put poison in the well for everybody. If I can't have cake, I sneeze on it and nobody can have it.
Nobody's eating it too.
Yeah, right.
I like it. But I saw a pretty interesting story. I picked up on this last night. I've followed it through this morning, and it's kind of a situational thing on the indies. And I wanted to get your take, and maybe you've seen something like this, but down at the old the arena down there in Jefferson, which I know you've been to before. right there across from Louisville over in Indiana.
Yeah, I've been there plenty of times.
Plenty of times, that old crap hole, if you will. But a little historic place in the area. But they were running an indie show there this weekend. It was a triple threat tag match, and inside of the match, I'd never seen this before. One of the teams didn't like how the match was being called. They felt the other teams were no-selling them. Reported that they just didn't feel comfortable with the finish. So they just picked up and left right in middle of the match. Match is still going on. The other two teams are in there. Team A exits, just goes to the back, immediately walks through the curtain, goes and grabs their gear, and exits the building. You ever seen anything like that?
No, not mid-match of like, fuck this, I'm out of here, bro.
The other two teams real quickly recover. They just send two competitors in, they go to a finish and get the match over with. So, I mean, they were able to adjust there. So it wasn't very obvious, but even the audience,
if guys were taking liberties with them and they're like, fuck this, we think a hit's being called in on us, I could vouch for it that way. You know what I mean? I'm just hearing this for the first time of how you're laying it out, you know? So like I said, what comes out of the locker room versus what somebody else's version of their truth is hard to, I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes of
right. Maybe
what would make me so, I don't want to say unprofessional, because maybe they're doing it to protect themselves because the other guys were. So that's kind of the catalyst. Now, if guys are just going, we don't want to lose the belts, or we think we should be champs, fuck this, we're out of here. Well, then you're the epitome of an indie mark, and get the fuck out of here and never come back. You just ruined a segment in a main event. Hopefully the guys left in the ring were competent enough to go, you know what? We've worked or they made it work together for a year, like usually a regional indie would. Like if I was in a match with the Hispanic Mechanics, it's me and fucking Blaze and the Nazi Mafia's in there, and all great guys who we all work pretty old school gimmicks and have a good time and listen to each other and protect each other. Let's say Hispanic Mechanics did that and bounced. At that point, Nazi Mafia and I could call something on the fucking fly is what we knew the finish was, because chances are the guys who left aren't the ones who were going over.
Right.
You know,
right.
So we'll get there. I'm just going to fucking chop block somebody and fucking start working heat on them, malicious, get in, bite their head, and be like, all right, here's what we're going to fucking do. You know, like, and yep, all right, good, whip me off. And then we go into it, you know, and probably do a double down so we can smarten up the ref when he comes over. Sideburns comes over to check on me. I'll tell him what the fuck we're going to do, you know, and then go into a match and some sequences that we've done 2 or 3 times before, and maybe make one of them a falsie and take it home, because there probably is people in the region who've seen our matches. So they're going to see, oh, they did that finish, I'm going to make that a false, or get out of it some way and insinuate the violence. So if you're good workers, like all 3 tag teams I just mentioned, it shouldn't be a problem. Now, if you got guys who are plan out every single spot and you're going to duck one, do this, come back, you're fucked. You don't know how to call shit on the fly. You don't know that. Let's get heat on me, grab a hold, and we'll talk it out. Because from there, we can just go, fuck what it is. You're over, and here's how we're getting there.
How do you handle that? You're a locker room leader. Even with promotions up there.
Yeah, those guys are gone. They're not welcome here anymore.
I was going to say, I mean, is that because I did some digging. I'd asked some people, because I know some of the people that were on the card, and I wasn't, getting a whole lot of information. I didn't have a whole lot of time to research it, but to me, the promoters should have been all over that through the curtain, which it seemed they were kind of backed off, which I don't think it was that strong.
It goes to show you that the promoter isn't respected. Like you would never do that in 2CW with Josh and Steve backstage. Never. No, everyone would know, like, fucking, that's it for me, bro. I'm buried, right? Like across New York State.
I mean, let's say that happens. They just go to their business themselves. What's Strangler doing right when they come through that curtain?
Oh, he's on them. Get your fucking shit and get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, and Josh would probably tell him and send him to do that. And Striz is the fucking Iceman to do that, because Josh is very quiet and like kayfabe's everything. Like even when people go up to talk to him, it's like you have your sidebar conversation, wait till it's done. Next person. There's never like the only time I ever seen like a group around him would be Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and probably AR Fox. Like, that would be the clique that might be around him that doesn't break that rule. But if you're going to talk business with them, it's kind of one-on-one. And Josh, when he fucking gets mad, he just fucking is like, what'd you do? And that's what, and lets you bury yourself. Like, he gets it out of you to make you fucking say it. And that's it. You know, you fucked up, but it probably wouldn't come down like that because he wouldn't give you the satisfaction. He just send the striz to fucking cut throats. And I've done it at Raven's joint. Not that he sends me, I'm a boss, but I know how he fucking works. And he's a sadistic motherfucker with that because he is Vince McMahon level office in how he runs things, even if it's an indie. And after the person is done because they cut their own throat, and like if I fire him or Striz puts he in, he gets excited like a little kid, like hacker got fucking rid of him. Like he gets put, like that's when it comes out, which I don't know if that's a psychopath characteristic or not. But after the person who fucked up gets their throat cut, the assassin who cuts the throat gets a weird like celebration in his mind. He fucking he likes that shit. It's weird.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of 2CW, you guys made a big pivot. You lost a big name, but stepped up big time to replace it for the big reunion show or the reboot or however you guys are dubbing it.
Yeah. Older, fatter, balder. It was a great time on Friday Locker Room with the Striz. He let me know on Thursday he's available again. So talk to Maddie and see what's up with him. But I'd love to have Strangler Steve on as much as possible as we lead into that. And maybe I can get more of insight on there. I hadn't really talked to Josh about what was going on, but Eddie Edwards had to call it off. And I know he feels really bad about it because he's 2CW original. The Wolves were huge part, him and he was a huge part of it as a solo gig too. You know, they worked a lot of shows in 2CW, and it was always good having the Boston contingent on there. It was nice to get top guys that could just drive. You know, we didn't have to fly them in, so it was great. But right now we got TNA champ Santana on the show to replace that as well. I mean, Godfather is going to be there, and the Hardys will be there Friday night for the Hardy party. So that, and I'm sure there'll be more. A couple things I'm working on right now. So excited, and I don't know what else Josh has got up his sleeve, man. Like, even though we work together and own business together, when it comes to wrestling, I'm obviously in the inner circle, but I still get kayfabed on shit.
So you're still getting kayfabed in the vault.
Yeah. So wrestling's wrestling, weed is weed. There's two different levels, you know, to what's going on, and it's going to be awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it. I busted my ass in the gym the last 2 days. Really, I feel better the last week than I have in 2 years, to be honest with you. My back is not 100%, but it's way better than it was when I had my last match in December last year, and made that New Year's resolution to start working on my mobility and back, and then in August to work on my weight and fitness. And I have been pretty diligently on the Cesar Bononi program. It's, it's strict, but I'm happy to do it, to get ready for this show and to face Father Time. You know, that's the main thing. I want to not become complacent and have all these injuries when I can focus on my health and self a little bit more right now. So I'm doing that, but won't make a difference because aliens are coming in a month, and we're just going to be made into slaves again anyways.
Yeah. Thanksgiving, baby. We're going to be breaking bread with the aliens.
Yeah, well, Wagwan do, man. 2CW still over strong. It's going to be a great time, man. Tickets are going fast. I guess I looked in my email from Comfort Inn. It doesn't have like a link, but if you want to call Comfort Inn in Clay, New York, I'll get that phone number and info and put that in the Hameen media discussion group and get that out there, because I have, I think, 7 to 10 rooms, I think 7 maybe, that are in a block for fans and HMG staff. And who knows, you might be rooming next to the Godfather, so you can have hoes all night long coming in and out of there.
You can get a room between the Godfather and Big Ray. I know that's a party.
That's what I'm saying. It's a smoke session and hose all night long, baby. So yeah, it'll be Comfort Inn, Route 31, Clay, New York. It's only about 300 yards from Ravens Joint, right across the bridge. So easy to scoop people up or get rides together to get a crew to go to Watertown, because Watertown's about 60 minutes up the road, you know. So, but you can hop on 81 right there. It's easy. And we'll all be together because there'll be extra stuff going on at Ravens Joint. I'm sure people want to get picks there too. So I'll get that number up in the discussion group, and we'll get it out there if you want to get your rooms booked. I know people were asking me about it. So
awesome, brother. Well, kind of up against anything else, Ben, you want to touch on before we get out of here?
Oh man, I look forward to AI taking over the locker rooms. I get even more free time, and you know, we'll see. They take all the past interviews. It's interesting. 4VKM hit me up, and the original video that him and the CIA put out was reinstated by YouTube. And I still haven't done this video of Operation Chirac Blitz video getting taken down. I was it you I was talking to about
last week?
Yeah. And you know, I have all these screenshots, and they're asking me, they're conditioning me about terror groups and organized crime videos, and are quoting Al Qaeda, Boko Haram, and the Sinaloa cartel to me in these things, like it's supposed to be a practice test for a junior writer at Vice News. Like, but for VKM stuff, I'm glad he got unbanned. But in the same week, I'm getting things taken down that are pro wrestling, and because and getting my platform on Twitter attacked, which should be the most open platform right now, and no appeal has been answered, and there's no further place to go while HMG is just stuck in, you know, Twitter purgatory. I know Kaz wants to put out a ton of clips, but like, Wagwan do, where do you go from here? You know, so interesting how YouTube's trying to be like, and any video that said COVID, we're putting, are all my conspiracy horseman videos? There's probably 15 of them, if not 20, that were taken off the platform completely. They can't even search in my own YouTube studio. I got them in fucking Dropbox. Huge videos.
It's funny, you know, after talking to you last week, because I went in, because, you know, I do a lot of our uploads. Kaz clips them, gives me, I upload them, thumb them. But I was reading through some of the new details, because they've changed their layout, and a lot of that wording has changed for what you need to register for, you know, what to look for in your video. The checks are taking much longer. There's a lot going on behind the scenes there.
And this is part of the bigger AI plan, because they're using AI tools to do it. They say, oh, a human reviewed it. Dude, it got denied on appeal in under 40 seconds after I appealed it. The video's a minute 12. It says a minute 30. It says the offensive parts at 1 minute 12 seconds. It's the propaganda "there is no hope" poster, and you can't even read anything. It's just my face. So AI is bullshit in what it's saying. And fucking, while they're acting one way, other artists are being fucking tormented and having things taken down. That's pro wrestling. That's not truly Al Qaeda, Boko Haram, or the Sinaloa cartel. But those guys are cool. Like, if you want to do their stuff, go ahead. But Ben Hamid insurgency is a no-go. So interesting times inside the Matrix, inside 1984. You know, I'm just super humble and happy to be walking into my shop and selling weed, bro. And to be able to get together with good brothers and HMG and Russo brand members of the 2CW show. And hopefully the Anunnaki don't show up. Well, maybe they'll show up in Watertown. There is a military base there, and we'll all get together. The Anunnaki can fucking come and be in my segment and accompany me to the ring. I think that'd be a great comeback for them. And, you know, they're older, they're fatter, they're balder, they haven't been here in a while. So, but yeah, you guys, appreciate you filling up the chat room and hanging out with us today for the Monday Locker Room. I know other great shows been uploaded. We're going to be switching to Patreon here, hopefully beginning of November and December. That's when Russo wants to start doing that. So start plugging that soon, try and get Maddie and Big Ray access so we can move things there. Right now, I'm just kind of leaving shows up because, you know, you're the best wrestling fans. I appreciate you being subscribed so the guys can earn off of HMG.
Don't let that Patreon thing freak you out there. We have a lot of awesome content. We're
There's actually going to be even more content.
Yeah, yes. a lot of good content. And you're still going to be able to catch a lot of it just like you have been. So don't freak out about it out there.
I think I may move all of the consultants to another tier, just kind of provide extra stuff and some shows I want to do with interesting people from my life or people I find interesting, and you know, maybe share some more chop wood, carry water. I'd like to really sit down with my dad a couple times, to be honest with you, because
very cool.
You know, time's slipping away, man. I'd like to have something for the future and to you know, get at the end of what makes me me as well. So I'm sure there'll be some Freudian shit going on. But yo, it's Hacker Hameen. It's Art of the B to the V. It's HMG on the MLR. 2 CWs on the way.
Bring Osama bin Laden to the gates of hell.